Hello all, welcome to my channel. So today we will learn getter setter methods in Java. So that is also a very important Java interview question, or this type of question can be asked in automation testing also. And I would request each and everyone, okay, please subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell button, okay, so that you will get notification whenever I'm uploading a new video. Also, you can share my videos with your friends and families, whoever is preparing for any automation testing interview or want to learn Java or automation testing. And also like my videos, comment your thoughts, okay, so that I can understand what kind of requirement you are having. Accordingly, I will try to create videos. Okay, or if you need any other clarification, okay, detailed explanation, okay, that is also you can let me know. So now I'm coming to the program. Okay, so first I have taken a class that is get and set. So here I have taken two variable, that is public string employee name and public integer employee ID. I'm not coming to the other variable, first these two. These two are the instance variable directly inside the class. Now I'm coming to the method. So I have taken a public void show method. Here I am printing these two values, okay, these two variables. So this dot employee name and this dot employee ID. We know this means we can access immediate parent variables and methods, okay, instance variable and instance method. So that's why we are using this dot employee name and this dot employee ID. Fine. Now I'm coming to the main method. So in the main class, getter setter, and inside that public static void main. Now to access these methods, okay, access these variables, we need to create the object for that class. So I'm creating the object of this getSet class gs1 equal to new getSet. Okay. Now suppose I want to set the value of employee, okay, of this employee ID. I want to set the value. So how we can do that? You give it, and now I'm commenting out this, okay. I'm commenting out this, so I'm setting the value of employee ID as -10. So let's run the code, let's see the result. Okay, I think there is many values. So first comment out the other values. Okay, I will come to those later. So now these two, okay. Now let's run it. So first is employee name, so that is nothing set, so that's why none. -10 is the employee name, and other two are the other two variables, okay, these two also not set, that's why null is coming, and 0 for integer, okay. So -10. Now what is the issue with that? Employee ID, we know, right, it is any ID, employee ID, okay, any ID cannot be negative value, right? It has to be start from 1 at least, from our common understanding, right? So we are setting is as -10, which is wrong. So any variable we cannot modify, right? There should be some restriction, else anybody in any application, anybody can set the value, okay. And if suppose instead of 10, if we are setting the value as -10, then that is getting stored, okay, which is wrong. So for that purpose, okay, for that purpose we need to restrict the variables, okay. And to access those restricted variables, we need getter setter class, okay, getter setter method. So now let's see how we can do that, okay. I hope you guys are understand what is the issue, why we need getter setter method. So now come to the code. So I have taken another two variable. Now I am mentioning it as private. So private cannot be accessed outside the class, okay. So private string employee name 1 and private in employee ID 1. So now I'm mentioning as employee ID 1 and employee name 1 as private. So now try to access it, okay. So here employee ID 1. So here once I give 1, this is private, we cannot access it, Okay, so that's why it is throwing error. So now we need, right, sometimes we need to set the value or modify the value. Okay, that is also needed. So then how we can modify or how we can access these private variables? Okay, so that is also another concern. So to access it, we need getter setter method. So now come to the code. So this is first, this is the getter part. Okay, this is the getter part. So what I'm doing here, to get the value, suppose you want to fetch the value, so how you can do that? So I'm creating a method public in get employee id. I'm returning this dot employee date id 1, so we can check what is the data is present. Okay, what is the data? For that, suppose we need to modify the data, so for that, this is the setter method. Okay, so here what I am doing, I have taken a method public void set employee ID, and here in the parameter I am sending a value employee underscore ID in the integer form, return type. Okay, integer value. So if condition I am coming later. Okay, now there I am, what I am doing, this dot employee ID 1 equal to employee ID, and this is whatever I am getting from the parameter, okay, of that method, that value I am sending, that value I am setting. Okay, if condition I am coming later. So suppose as of now you can comment out. So let's see if why we need this if clause. Okay, so now need to access it. Okay, now I'm commenting out this one. Now we need to access this employee ID using setter method. Okay, so now what I am sending, this is the in the argument parameter list, right? I am giving 200 and I am printing gs1 dot show. I am printing. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, now let's see, let's run this one. So 0, 0, these two are public. So these two I didn't set any value. For private employee name also didn't set any value. For private employee ID 1, I'm setting 200 in the set class, right? Set method. So that's why I'm getting 200. But suppose by mistake here also I can give minus 200 instead of 200, right? Which is also wrong. So how we can rectify it? First run it. Let's see it is accessible or not. Yeah. So here also if I am giving negative value, then this is also getting accepted, which is also wrong, right? That's why we are using getter setter method, right? But here also negative value is getting set. So now we are adding this if condition. We can give any condition as per our requirement. So what is this if condition? If this employee ID, whatever I am getting, okay, in the parameter list, if this is less than 0, less or equal to 0, employee ID cannot be 0, right? It has to be start from at least 1. So if the value is less or equal to 0, then we are throwing an exception. What is the exception? Throw new illegal argument exception, and here I am giving the message invalid employee ID. Right. So if we are getting any value in the parameter list employee ID which is less than 0 or equal to 0, then we are throwing this error. Throw new illegal argument exception and invalid employee ID. Okay, now let's run this. Let's see whether minus 200 is getting accepted or not. Okay, now we are getting the exception in the main thread. Okay, invalid employee ID. Okay, at Java program get set employee ID. Okay, so here in the get set, so that's why it is not getting accepted. It has to be at least check it for 0, whether 0 is accepted or not. I think no. Huh. So 0 also not getting accepted. So at least 1 you have to send. Okay, 1 you have to send. Huh. So now it is getting accepted. So so I think now it is pretty much clear that why we need getter setter method. Getter setter method we need to access the private private variables. To access the private variables of the immediate class, we need the getter setter methods, and we can modify the value as per our condition, in which we will add in the setter method. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, so please subscribe my channel. Okay, and hit the bell button. Okay, comment your thoughts, or also like my videos. Okay, and that's all for today. Tomorrow again I will come with a new video. Okay, till then have a nice day. Enjoy. Thank you all.